Hey now Deadheads, we're back again with another Grateful Dead vinyl release. Today it is the Dead.net exclusive Wake of the Flood 50th Anniversary Edition. What makes this the exclusive edition and not the same old edition that you can get at any independent or big box record store across the country? That is, of course, that it is on Watermark Custom Vinyl, and we're going to be taking a look at that in a little bit. First of all, apologies though. I'm a little bit late on sharing this with you. My copy of this didn't arrive until about a week, maybe a week and a half after the release date, and I was already out of the country. I spent a couple weeks in Japan on my honeymoon, picked up a bunch of really cool, some Grateful Dead related, but mostly not Grateful Dead related records and CDs while I was there. So look forward to my haul video, or maybe a guide to shopping for records in Japan, Tokyo, and Osaka, coming up on this channel pretty soon. And so if you're not subscribed, subscribe if you're interested in that and other Grateful Dead, mostly vinyl content on this YouTube channel. But let's take a look at what is inside this really handsome and well-produced new copy of Wake of the Flood from the Grateful Dead. The first thing I want to call attention to is the matte paper, actually, on the exterior. I think most records these days are glossy. If you get a tip-on style sleeve like this one is, you'll get a glossy sleeve. But this is matte, and it mimics the original, the 1973 edition of Wake of the Flood, one of the, I believe, the first record on Grateful Dead Records. And speaking of this being one of the first records on Grateful Dead Records, one of the first things that we see in here is a postcard from Grateful Dead Records saying that this record is being counterfeited. And this record famously was counterfeited way back in the day, in the early 70s. So it's a warning to watch out for, and what to watch out for in these counterfeit records. And then the next thing that we see is a reproduction of the promotional poster for Wake of the Flood. All new stuff from the Grateful Dead. And on the back we have some liner notes with all new stuff. A little introduction to Wake of the Flood, as well as a list of who distributed the original record way back in 1973. Conspicuously absent from this is the sticker for the good old Grateful Dead cast, so no love for Jesse Jarnow in this release. I believe, since they launched the Grateful Dead cast, every release that they've put out since then has included some variation of that good old Grateful Dead cast sticker. Today we don't have that sticker. But now the moment that we've all been waiting for, of course, is the record. You'll see it's in this white polyline sleeve, a little bit of a departure from the black polyline sleeves that have caused me a lot of frustration from the past few releases. And when we open it up, we have that gorgeous Watermark Custom Vinyl. Really, really cool light blue swirl. Big fan of this. Looks really handsome. It mimics that flood on the album sleeve. And something that kind of confused me a little bit is, what side is side A and what side is side B? The little cheat code is, of course, if you look in the Dead wax, you can see a very subtle A and B to help you to determine whether you're looking at side A or side B. Now on the back of the record, a very, again, faithful reproduction, but something that's very, very subtle, and I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick this up, but a black on black typing of ignore alien orders. Not sure what this means. I pulled out my original Wake of the Flood from 50 years ago, and I can't find it on there. And so this is actually a new addition to Wake of the Flood on this vinyl release. Not really sure what that means, if that's maybe a subtle nod to Mars Hotel, which was, of course, their 1974 album. Not sure what this means. And so if you know what Grateful Dead Productions, I don't know if this was Dave Lemieux's idea or Mark Pincus's idea, but ignore alien orders, what that might mean, please leave that in a comment down below. Now you might be wondering, how does this edition compare to this edition? Of course, we've got the 2023 edition, the 1973 edition. I gotta say, they sound pretty close. This new version, of course, Sounds a lot cleaner. My 1973 edition is not near mint or even very good plus. I would probably rate it good. A lot of pops, no scratches, but having this much cleaner edition sounds very good to me. To my ears, it sounds pretty fantastic. So despite being sourced from a digital source, of course, they do the remix for these new 50th anniversary editions. That goes through digital processing of some sort, but still sounds pretty good. I would say the most noticeable difference is that there's a little bit more instrument separation, or at least to my ears, on this new edition than there was on the original 1973 edition. Not sure if that is just something that I'm hearing either on my equipment or because of all the pops and the crackles on that kind of beat up 50-year-old record, but definitely hearing more instrument separation, a little bit more depth, especially on Row Jimmy Row. There's a very subtle organ in the background. You can hear it on the original edition, but it's much more noticeable to my ear on this new edition. And so that is it for Wake of the Flood, this 50th anniversary edition. A little bit of teaser of what's to come. We've got a lot coming out in the next couple months. It's a good time to be a Deadhead, or a terrible time to be a Deadhead if you're on a budget, but I'm not going to say no to new releases from the Grateful Dead. Next up, of course, we're going to have they've got that Madison Square Garden show, that breakout from the In and Out of the Garden We Go box set. That's coming soon. I believe that might already be on its way to my house. And then, of course, Dick's Picks Volume 2, Real Gone, just released it. And so they did Volume 1 earlier this year, and they'll be doing Volume 2 very, very soon. By the time this video comes out, I think a lot of people will already have it. It will have already arrived for a lot of people, but we'll be doing an unboxing of that as well as that Madison Square Garden box set. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff coming out soon. Jerry Garcia Heads or Tails, Volume 1, a new kind of experiment from Jerry Garcia Family Productions. And then we also have a solo record from Oteil playing Grateful Dead ballads. That'll be really interesting. I've listened to a couple of the songs that have come out already, but really looking forward to that vinyl edition that will be coming quite soon. And then we've got Record Store Day coming up, so we've got, I think, 2 Jerry Garcia records, and then, of course, that Grateful Dead box set that is coming out, which is that one last show from that 1969 Fillmore West run. So really excited about completing that, now a trilogy, soon to be 4 box set, and really completing that complete Fillmore West 1969 run. The only other thing that is coming out, still haven't heard what that second Dave's Picks vinyl box set for this year is going to be. Of course, they teased it last year, the end of last year, in the Grateful Dead Almanac, that we were getting 2 Dave's Picks box sets this year. We got the first one that came out, that Eugene, Oregon show. Really excited to see what the next one will be. Might be announced kind of closer to the holidays so that we can buy it for all of our favorite Deadheads in our lives and put it underneath the Christmas tree. Or whatever holiday they may be celebrating, give it to them as a gift. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Really excited about this record. I've given it maybe 3 or 4 spins already on my turntable. Sheesh, I forgot how good Wake of the Flood is. And boy, does this copy sound pristine. So really excited. Going to get a lot of mileage out of this. Maybe time to retire that 1973 version. But thanks again. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And that's it for today. Peace.